Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone and anyone except for this pimple that just showed up on my face and announced, I hate you. But thank you guys for coming back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, hi. My name is Michelle and thank you for joining me. And I hope that you subscribe and you stay.
It won't really work cause we built a wall. Questions in the air, tears on the floor. It's telling me to go, baby, you know. Unseitlich war nicht so wie love at first sight.
So today I'm going to be talking about story time. This time, I promise I'll be short and precise and to the point because I'm always talking. So it was, wait. So it was sometime in 2019 when I was moving from Berlin to the south part of Germany where I'm staying now, and I took a bus, right? I'm not gonna say the name of the traveling bar agency or bus or anything in fear if I might say something bad and then that will be like bad publicity, which I don't want to do. So it was in 2019, I think in around September, and I was traveling from Berlin, and I took my journey, I think at around 2 or something, I don't remember, but it was in the afternoon. And from Berlin to the city where I was traveling to, it was a 12-hour bus ride. So I was gonna be in the bus a long time. I was gonna bus it. I don't know why I said that, it's not funny. I'm already doing what I said I won't be doing. So I arrived at the bus station, I got into the bus, and we're riding for over, I don't know how many hours now, you do the math. But to get onto this bus, I needed to show my ticket, something of sort. Of course, you need to show a ticket when you get on the bus. So I had mine on my phone. It was digital, and then that could also work. It was like a barcode or scan thing, and then you just go and then you get in the bus. So I got on the bus, and I was sitting at the side of the window in the back, and when we reached this other city, I forgot its name, there was this weird guy who I noticed getting off the bus, and he had like a very big bag a very big bag, and on top of the bag, like, I'm somebody who's good at minding my own business, but like the time, I don't know what just gave me the kick to want to see what was in the bag, or to just like pay attention to remember the details of this guy. And he was looking like a normal person, you know, but the bag was somehow a bit weird because all luggage, when we got onto this bus, it was like locked in the chingly changla the thing, yeah. So he had his as hand luggage, but it was very big to be hand luggage, you know what I'm saying? But on top of them, there were like flowers and flower pots. So I'm like, oh, maybe he's like, I don't know, he owns a flower boutique or something. I have no idea. But remember this guy, because what I'm gonna tell you later on will link back to him. So he got off at the station, and then I just looked at him outside the window. I'm like, oh, okay, that should be heavy. Why don't you put it in the luggage and stuff like that? And then we moved on with our journey. And now it was around 9 o'clock in the evening. Yeah. And we're almost getting close to the city I was moving to, right? And all of a sudden, our bus gets stopped by police. This is something that does not usually happen in Germany, you guys, because they stop where they told you that they stop. You get like an entire journey plan that we're going to stop at 9:30 at this station, we're going to stop at 12:30 at this station. You don't just get surprised. You don't just get a surprise stop, unless on robots or like Crossway, I don't know. But so it just happened that at around 9 p.m. we're almost close to the city, and there wasn't a stop there. The bus stopped, and then I'm like, hey, I'm looking on my map, seeing what kind of a stop is this, where are we, because it was dark outside, of course I couldn't see, and I was moving to a place I'd never been before, so I didn't know, did I get on the right bus? This panicking questions start coming into you. And we get stopped, and then the bus driver announced that we have been stopped, we're going to stop for a while, we don't know for how long, and everybody should get out. And I'm like, okay, we're stopping in the middle of nowhere, are we getting kidnapped? You see, I watch so many movies, so I'm like, oh my god, if we're getting kidnapped, I should do this, I should do this and that. Trying to process my own head and like create a movie that was not happening. And then we got off the bus, and then I saw about 5 police cars, right? Just there, a big van, a small car, different types of police vehicles. And there were about 7 policemen and 1 policewoman. And then I'm like, okay, what's going on? And then they're like, everybody get out with your hand luggage that you have in the bus and get out. And then we took our hand luggage and we got outside and we formed a line, right? So we're just standing there, not knowing what is going on or what is happening. And I'm telling you, this police, they were having fun with us for no apparent reason. So we stand there, and they come back and they say that we're looking for somebody who was carrying, I don't remember how many kilos they said, of marijuana in an intent to sell them weiter. in an intent to sell them, right, the marijuana. And I'm like, oh, okay, I don't have any marijuana on me. And they made us like stand in a circle, and they're like, does anybody have any sort of drugs they have on them? And then people start saying, yeah, I have this drug that I take for this. People start coming up with excuse. And then me standing there with not even paracetamol in my bag, I'm just like, okay. And then I look around me and I noticed that I was actually the only black person in the bus. I'm saying this because it was necessary to what happened after. It's necessary to know as background info to understand what happened later on. And then some people said, yeah, I have this drug, I have this drug, I have this drug, I have this prescription, and this and this and this and this. And then I said, I don't have anything. I don't even have paracetamol. I don't have anything. I just have water. I don't even have cough syrup, nothing. And the people who had like said they have something, they were taken aside, and then they were searched, and then they were given back their stuff, except for one girl. Apparently she was having an illegal drug or something that was not on a prescription, so she was held on the side. And I'm like, what hell, she's going down here. And then they come back to the rest of the group, right? This girl was isolated on the other side, and then they come back to the rest of the group. This time one of the policemen and the police lady came back, and then they're like, before we start what we're going to do, does anybody have something they need to let us know? And I'm like, no. I didn't have anything that I needed to let them know, but I'm confused as to what exactly is going on. They're looking for somebody with marijuana. Why don't they just search the bus luggage or search the hand luggage, and not just like make us stand in a circle like some stupid kids? So the policewoman says, do you guys all understand? And she was looking at me when she said that, do you guys all understand German, or I should say in English? And I'm like, dude, I'm the only black person here. Like, you can just ask me if I'm understanding what you're saying or not. And then we're like, yeah, we're all understanding. And then they're like, okay, cool. And then she goes away for a few seconds. She comes back with these 2 huge, enormous, scary dogs. Sorry, I love dogs, but I was terrified. I almost let out a little bit of pee in my pants. I was terrified, yeah. And then she said, may everybody please stand in a circle, put their luggage in front of them, their hand luggage in front of them. And then the dog was walking around sniffing all of us everywhere. And then my heart was beating so fast because I was thinking of this thing that dogs can sense fear, and then fear releases some sort of, gas, and then this gas, I was just overthinking. And then apparently, I think this policewoman had an issue with me, or it's because of most of the stereotype that many people have that black people are always smoking grass. I have no idea. But she kept pushing one of the dogs on me. And the dog didn't have any interest with me because I was clean. Girl was clean. I didn't even have anything on me. And then she kept pushing the dog to me. And I'm like, at first I thought maybe I was just like seeing it in my own head. But then I noticed, and then I asked her, like, excuse me, why you keep pushing the dog to me? I really asked her, like, in that group of so many people, I was kind of pissed. And I had to speak up for myself. So, like, excuse me, why are you keeping on pushing the dog to me? And then it's like, yeah, we must be thorough about our search. And I'm like, okay. Then I kept quiet because, you can get arrested for anything and everything. And I wasn't about to pick a fight with the policewoman. And then the dog didn't find anything, right? And they let the dog into the bus. And it was sniffing and sniffing and sniffing around all the seats because maybe somebody would have heated there and got off the bus. I don't know. So apparently this guy who I told you about earlier on was sitting about 2 sets behind me, and the dog was able to smell that there was weed there. So we come back in the bus. So the dog gets off the bus, and then the police people tell us to go back into the bus. And then we take our seats, and then they're like, who was sitting here? Everybody did not answer. And then they're like, okay, now we're going to check your documents, guys. And then they were like walking around, starting from front, going to the back, checking the documents, like passports or IDs and everything. And then at this moment, I don't know what is wrong with me or what type of bad luck do I have. The police was about 2 or 3, 4 seats in front of me, and I'm already checking so I can put out my documents in order, and so that they just come by me and they pass through. You know what I'm saying? So I'm opening my little bag where I usually kept my passport, and it's not there. And I am panicking like crazy and shaking in my boots. And I'm tearing up my entire hand luggage looking for my passport because I'm always having it there all the time. Passport was nowhere to be found. Which in my passport was where my visa was, where all of my details were of what I'm doing in the country, my residence permit, everything. And then I'm thinking, how did I get onto the bus without a passport? And it was of this stupid barcode check-in thing, right? I had it on my phone, so when I had the information on my phone, I just had to check in, and I didn't need to show my ID. Otherwise, I'd have realized when I was doing Berlin that I didn't have my passport. So I'm shaking like crazy, and then the police comes to me and it's like, Ausweis bitte. And I'm like, ich kann es nicht finden, ich weiß nicht, ich hatte es irgendwo hier hingelegt, aber ich kann es nicht finden. And then the police is looking at me like, You're the only black girl in this bus, probably the only foreigner, and you're just telling me all of a sudden you don't find your passport when we're doing a marijuana search. It sounded ridiculous in his head, because he was just looking at me and And then in my head it clicked that the previous day I had made a photocopy of my passport at a friend's place, and because she had a printer, and I had left my passport there just on the printer and forgotten to take it, and then I took my photocopy with me. So I'm like, oh my god, I'm almost so close to the city that I want to go to. I can't afford being taken to jail or anything. And then they're like, yeah, we're going to need you to step out of the bus. And I'm like, and I'm still looking, I'm like, no, I had it in here. I really had it. And then my guardian angels just took over. I found this photocopy that I had made, right? And I'm like, okay, I can't find my passport anymore, but I have this photocopy. Is it enough? The guy was a bit nice, and then it's like, yeah, does it have your passport number on it and your visa? And I'm like, no, it doesn't have a visa, because it was just a photocopy of the backside of my passport where like my details, my name, my everything was. He's like, yeah, we can work with that. He takes the photocopy, gets off the bus, and then the policewoman comes back and she's like, ma'am, we're going to need you to step out of the bus. I'm like, what did I do? I'm shaking, guys, at this moment, because everyone is looking at me in the bus in such judgmental eyes, as if they know my life story or anything. Then I get off the bus and I'm like, I didn't do anything, I swear. I'm allowed as a citizen in this country. And they're like, yeah, we know, we checked your details with the photocopy you gave us, it's true, you're like good to be in this country. We want to ask you, because we managed to pick up some sense of what we're looking for 2 seats behind you, so we want to ask you if you saw anything or anyone in the course of the journey. And I'm like, why y'all give me such a heart attack when you just need information from me? And I'm not a snitch. I didn't say that, but in my head I was like, I'm not a snitch, I don't like you anyways. But then I'm like, no, I didn't see anything. And then she's like, please, we really need your help. You need to think, if you saw anything or anyone or anybody who was sitting on there and got off, just tell us, even if you don't think they're like guilty. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I saw there was a guy there with like this huge bag which had like flowers and flower pots in it, and he got off. Apparently at that time I remember the city where it got off. And then they're like, oh, so thank you so much. And then they like started talking on their walkie-talkie thing and stuff. And then they told me to describe him. And I knew how to describe him, because this guy was looking at me for a long time when he got off the bus, for a reason I don't know. And then I described him. Or not. I don't remember if I really gave the correct descriptions. And they're like, oh, thank you so much, and we're so sorry for the inconveniences we caused, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, you better be sorry. And then I got back on the bus. And then unfortunately, one of that lady who had the medicine that wasn't a prescription, I don't know what she had exactly, but it was sort of illegal, she was told to stay behind. And then she was put in the police van, and then they started like doing tests to her, I don't know, whatever. But she didn't continue the journey with us. And then we continued the journey, and then this whole time I was like, oh my god, that was so mind-blowing. I had never been one-on-one with the police before, except when I was reporting a case. And to be a suspect, I'm like, call me Jack Bauer. Call me Mr. Magoo. So that was my story, you guys. I just found it so interesting and scary, because at that moment I was like, oh my god. But yeah, let me know if you enjoyed it in the comments, and be sure to leave a thumbs up, and to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And thank you so much, guys, for listening. See you then. Bye.